Last time on WildChild, you watched us make about a 115 nautical mile jump to Norfolk, Virginia, but I accidentally made a mistake, miscalculated, and we pulled into the Norfolk harbor in the dark. No worries, we found our way to the old Comfort Marina and went to bed.
Good morning. At what time is it now?
Good morning, sailing fans. We're tired, so we made it to Norfolk, Virginia from Ocean City, Maryland. It was a 100-mile passage, and we went faster than we expected. So we had to time our departure from Ocean City when the tide was falling. There's a very rough current at the harbor mouth for them. So the current turned in our favor at like 9 a.m. and then it would stop being in our favor at about 1 or 2 p.m. So we ended up leaving at noon. But the problem was, leaving at noon, we arrived at Norfolk, Virginia in the dark this morning before sunrise. So we don't like to be in a position where in the dark in an unfamiliar port you're trying to make your way in. So we came in through the Chesapeake Bay Bridge tunnel thingy at the end in the dark. There's cargo ships and trawlers and Navy ships and traffic, and we're trying to see the buoys in the dark. It was freezing cold. It was like 1 degree Celsius. We were wearing layers and layers and layers of clothes like snowmen. We were freezing out there, tired, grumpy, didn't get a lot of sleep. The waves, they weren't bad, like 2-3 footers, but they were just the kind that throw your boat around constantly. When you're in waves like that, you're flexing every muscle in your body to resist the motion of the waves, so it's like a workout. Wears you down and get tired. But eventually we took a shot in the dark. We arrived at, so good morning, we arrived in the harbor area on the south side of Chesapeake Bay. We were going to go to an anchorage on the left when you come in, sort of behind the Navy base, but the channel going in says that it's 2.9 feet deep as of 2013, but there's a marked channel, but it's in water that's 10 feet deep. So it didn't make sense. So we were very nervous about, can we trust the depth there? Then we saw on the north side of this channel, there was a marina with 13 feet deep depth at the end of its docks. It's called the Old Comfort Marina. I tried calling them on the phone. There's no answer, nobody there. So sometimes you just take a shot, you come in and just take the first slip you see. We landed safely. We turned on the heat. So there was shore power. We got electricity. We turned the space heaters on. It was 1 degree Celsius. We were freezing and tired. Neither one of us got any sleep last night. So that was it. Just give the boat heat and go to sleep. The dock we landed on was in kind of rough shape and was covered in bird poop. But we were so tired we weren't about to be fussy. Seems like a nice enough place. I hope it's not too expensive. A local sailor named Doug saw us Canadians tied to the dock, came over to visit, say hi, offer friendly advice, and kinda had suggested we move over another dock because that one had been damaged by the last hurricane. So we untied WildChild and moved it over one. Having to spin WildChild around to back her into a slip was not an easy task. But WildChild's a good girl, and I know her. I know how to handle her. A wise old sailor had once given me the advice, slow motion crashes cost less. So sometimes slow is good, and I slowly and carefully backed her into the slip. We had never seen these kind of docks before. They were like miniature half docks with a bunch of posts to secure the rest of your boat to. It's time to go for a walk on shore, explore the place, and figure out where exactly are we. Although the sail in was really cold, New York City's getting a blizzard. Back home in Ontario, they're getting hammered with snow. Down here in Norfolk, Virginia, it's like a nice fall day. It's probably 10 or 12 degrees Celsius out. There are still leaves on the trees. And remarkably, we even found some flowers.
Oh, we are. Hi, honey. So, there you go here. Let's see, where's WildChild? Right there. So, what's the schedule for today?
Well, good morning, sailing fans. So, today is Monday, November the 12th. I think it's a public holiday here in the States. I think. So, November 11th is Veterans Day or Memorial Day, but I think in the United States, the day after Memorial Day is Service Member Day or Veterans Day to celebrate their soldiers. So everything seems to be closed down. The weather, so we got to get around Cape Hatteras where the Gulf Stream comes in. Got to be very careful, choose your window. We sort of have two options. We could risk the ICW from Norfolk to Beaufort, but we're hearing very conflicting. Maybe we can make it, maybe we can't. We might have like 1 foot of clearance on the bridges and our keel might be like 6 inches above the bottom. Doing 100 miles in a very narrow channel, barely scraping through, is very nerve-wracking. So the second option is to sit around, relax. Today is Monday. A weather window will open on Friday to get around Cape Hatteras. That's a great weather window, like the best sailing conditions we've seen in months. That'll be good for Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday. Perfect, gentle, 10 to 15 knot offshore winds as we come around Cape Hatteras. So we're gonna rest for 5 days and then probably run for 4 days. We'll probably skip North Carolina all the way to South Carolina in one big shot. We checked into the Old Point Comfort Marina. It was reasonably priced, reasonably clean, and we liked the place. The marina was located inside a recently decommissioned American Army base, so the humor of the soldiers was readily apparent. Weather, like it's actually comfortable. I'm in one pair of sweats, one sweater, and I'm comfortable. That's the first time in 3 months.
Yeah.
Or in 2 months.
2 months, yeah.
For 2 months we've been freezing, wearing like 3 and 4 sweaters. Now we're in Norfolk, Virginia, and the weather's comfortable.
It's nice.
Time off the boat to go for a walk and relax is good for my soul. And across the channel is one of the biggest military naval bases in the world, the American Norfolk, Virginia Naval Base.
Nice neighborhood. So we just take a walk, chatting. This is so great. Nice view from here. There you go in the background, Naval, Norfolk Naval. Sensation or water coming in from the deck. On my side more, so I just rip up the ceiling there, and I'm going to tight each nut, bolt a little bit where it joined the deck from the hull. So, out of respect, we usually try not to feature other people in our videos. But sometimes you just meet sailors that are so fabulous, we ask them for permission to film them. And this is Doug, a really cool local sailor who kind of adopted us, knowing that as travelers, we probably needed some help. So what are we doing now, honey?
Well, we've been adopted yet again by another fabulous sailor named Doug, and he's going to take us for a ride to go provisioning and show us around Norfolk.
Oh, great.
We shop here because we have to, because everything else is. Yay, Walmart. Believe it or not, it eventually becomes a cruiser's haven.
When I did my engine, and there was a catamaran that came in, and they pulled in like, you know, dust had pulled in. And I said, I got to go take a look at that. And they wouldn't let anybody on the boat. I was down there talking to the woman for like 5 minutes. I was on the boat. They were giving me the tour, gave me a bottle of...
So we went to Walmart. I need a new computer, so we found one to edit, so, and rugged one because it's on the boat. So now we're going to, with dog, grocery shopping.
And like magic, with one last stop at West Marine, I had been thinking about the way the boat is rigged out, and I wanted to make an improvement to our reefing system. We had to find a way to make the boat easier to reef, not something we ever worried about in the Great Lakes, but since we routinely sail in 20 and 30 knot winds, let's try to make the reefing easier. So you know the reefing line for the double Cunninghams?
Yes.
The double block that we're using is too small for the
Oh, okay.
lines. So if we replace it with this and then this spins, then the two Cunninghams come down here and then they'll come through the clutches.
Oh, perfect.
And then we can lock them, and then reefing just is a lot easier. We're spending money like we're rich, but we're really not.
It's a marine store, I know what you mean.
No, we spend money like Yeti, but we're poor like sailor bum.
We're sailor bums.
Yeah, I know what it's like.
Can you imagine if it was sunny? This morning was
Doug even took us for lunch at a nearby yacht club. Thanks, Doug. This was our first 5-day sailing break in 4 months. We took the time to do boat work. We had a couple of days rest waiting for our weather window as again more nasty weather moved through. What was interesting is that again there are more tornado warnings and tornado touchdowns around us. We've been sailing down the boundary between warm and cold air for 2 months now, constantly on the edge of nasty. Cape Hatteras, where we need to go next, is getting pummeled by tornadoes. Cells, one off New York and one up there, and they combine. They combine off the coast. You know, that's 51 knots of wind.
Yeah, not fun to be in. Yes.
Clearly, with the nasty winds, we're not sailing anywheres. So we want to spend the day as tourists. Let's go look around. Apparently there's a really cool old fort/museum around here we can go check out. So like the structure of the old-fashioned... The nerdy architect inside me is fascinated by the way these American military bases are structured out inside. Apparently Fort Monroe has been an active military base until it was decommissioned just a few years ago. I like all this old history stuff, and it's fun to think about 150 years ago, the soldiers that may have manned these gates. Wow. We wandered around inside the fort like lost children, until eventually signs directed us to the Casemate Museum. This is pretty cool though.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I know I said I'd keep this a sailing channel, but if you're ever in Hampton, Virginia, the Casemate Museum in the fort is fabulous. The displays inside are great. They did a really good job on this museum. So with another day back on the boat, we caught up watching YouTube videos. Those are our friends from Wildly Intrepid. We made some YouTube videos for you guys and even got an episode uploaded. Pretty soon, it'll be time to jump again. Our next jump is going to be our biggest and scariest one on this entire trip. We have to get out around scary Cape Hatteras. Cape Hatteras is legendary for sinking and destroying even large vessels for hundreds of years. It's known for 15-foot standing waves. What Google Maps doesn't show is that off Cape Hatteras there are shallow shifting sandbars that go out like 10 miles into the ocean, and it's only 6 or 10 feet deep. The The power of Cape Hatteras comes from the cold North Atlantic currents that are swirling down south on the coast. They collide with the warm Gulf Stream currents, which are moving north. The collision of these warm and cold currents can cause the standing waves. It causes the sand to shift around. We have been forewarned. Choose your weather window carefully. It's a minimum of a 200-mile jump around for us. There's no place to stop. Once we get out there, we're committed.